It's an identity shift. Who will I be without my sport? You have to step out the box. You never know where you end up with.
Welcome to Frontrunner, a video series celebrating outstanding Filipinas who are leading the charge in Philippine sport. I'm Pauline Lopez, athlete, coach, and founder of Cyril PH. Together, we'll delve into the inspiring stories of remarkable Filipinas who are not only passionate about sport, but also champions change. Our hope is to shed a spotlight on their journeys, their experiences, and the impactful projects that they lead. Today, we have Dzi Gervacio, sports analyst and collegiate volleyball program head. Thank you so much for being here today, Dzi.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So as we mentioned earlier, how is your transition from being an athlete and now a program head for volleyball?
It's really the values that you learn as an athlete from when you were younger up until playing in the collegiate ranks, playing in the professional ranks, playing for the flag. There will be moments when you'll be like, this is what I didn't understand back when I was in college, and now I understand it from a different perspective. And I would want to help the student athletes, the younger generation of athletes to, have a different perspective on things. Because at the end of the day, if they do have that bigger perspective, that's when they grow. I'm so lucky that I arrived in FEU and I feel like everybody's on the same page because everybody has the same vision. Everybody's all in for reaching that dream. And I'm just so lucky that, this group is a special group, and only time will tell to see the fruition of the seeds that we've planted a couple of years ago.
So I feel like something that I can actually learn from, because coming from an individual sport, you guys do a team sport. Now, how do you make sure that everyone stays on the same page? Like, where is this coming from? How did you build this environment?
I think it's an overall team thing. You mentioned that you're an individual athlete, but I know it takes a village.
Yes, okay.
Right? Like, you have your nutritionist, you have your coach for skills, for conditioning, you have your physio. So for us, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a team effort since they're still student athletes. Everybody makes sure on that side that they go to their classes first and foremost, because they're students first before athletes. So you can't really be going out to the court and showing and wearing the school colors if you can't even be present, if you can't even be on top of the responsibility of being a student. So on the athlete side of things, again, it's teamwork. We have at least 7-8 coaches for the women's team alone, another set for the men's. Each of the coaches have their own roles. Making sure everybody's on their top, performing every time there's practices, their game days.
Gem opens up to Dzi.
Oh, look at that. Coming from an excellent reception there.
So how was your process of letting go? What were you feeling when you let that big part of your life go?
I actually thought that I was gonna break down or cry the first time I decided to attend a volleyball game, because I wanted to be there for my teammates, for my former teammates. So I was thinking, how am I feeling right now? Like, I'm gonna go back to that scene where I just left. Like, will I be, I don't know, will there be shame? Will they notice me? Will they say hi? Stuff like that. Ask me what I'm gonna do, all these things. But you know what? I guess at the end of the day, it's this time now that I'm making is being there, is showing up for these people who have been showing up for me ever since I was an athlete. So for my teammates, I guess the bigger picture for me was I'm there for them. This is not for me anymore. Same thing with my student athletes that I handle. I'm there for them. I'm doing all the work behind the scenes, and it's really setting them up for greatness, for winning. I enjoy seeing the athletes enjoy their time playing, because I've been there and I know what it feels like to have my best game. I think that's where the dream started of like helping athletes. Like, hey, I want to help in such a way that they can just focus on playing. Like, everything else, ako na bahala.
Yes.
Kung pwede lang.
Oh, yeah.
And then they can just focus on, showing up to practice, doing their best at practice, and then showing up to the games, being the best they are on the court. So that's the dream, that's the goal. So here I am.
Can you be my coach? I wish you could be my coach. I love that, because not a lot of people understand.
Exactly.
Being an athlete, people don't see the behind the scenes,
Exactly.
let alone an athlete worrying about the behind the scenes. How can we perform when you're not your best? Parang ang daming mental aspect that not a lot of people understand.
Yes.
They just see the wins and the losses. And I
Exactly.
hate that. It's always important to share these stories for the awareness, for, I guess, the sensitivity that goes around it.
You know, when you retire, when you leave the playing behind, you also have to take time to grieve for it.
Yeah.
That's so true. I have a couple of friends who've also retired, and they would say like, "Oh my goodness, it's like going through a breakup." Yep, it is. Like it's so
hard.
funny.
It
It's
hurts.
hard.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's an identity shift. You know, like you've identified as an athlete, professional athlete, high level athlete for what, 2 decades, 3 decades, and then all of a sudden you leave it behind. Like, how do I reinvent myself? Who will I be without my sport? But that's the thing, like in sports, there's so many things that you can do, not just being an athlete. You can manage athletes, you can coach athletes, you can teach, you can create platforms, tournaments for people to try sports and be athletes themselves. So I feel like you just have to step out the box, be creative, gain a little perspective, meet some people, and you never know what you end up in or where you end up in.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because I thought I had to go through these things by myself, because not a lot of athletes actually talk about it after retirement, right? So after sport, I felt like, or taekwondo, I felt like I lost a big part of me.
Of
a big
course.
part
It's
of
part
like,
of it.
Yes,
Yes, it's
your
a part of it.
identity. And I used to always equate Pauline equals taekwondo and nothing more, nothing less. I think what was my mistake and a lesson learned was I didn't give myself space to grieve. What I did was, I overcompensated. I said, I'm gonna do this.
Yes, oh my God, normal.
Yes, I'm like, and I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the best here, because
Yes.
my athletic career was kind of, I knew I needed to take a space for myself, to find myself. But the process of getting there, it was, you're right, a breakup. And then you had to kind of talk to yourself,
Yes.
kaya mo yan.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You're okay.
And it's okay not to be okay.
Yes,
And
definitely.
then when I finally gave myself the space, I learned to talk to other women. It's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
It's okay to,
Yes.
you know, have a mentor. Because, alam mo yun, you came from a sport na you were really good there.
Yes. Yeah, it's really connecting, because you never know. There's a village of people, of women who's going through the same thing. And yeah, you never know who you meet. So I'm glad that I met
Yeah, I
you.
know.
This
Let's
is such
chat
a
after.
wonderful.
So when you think about where you are today, are there any, I guess, figures in your life that pushed you towards that direction?
Definitely my family. The fact that they let me try to go outside the box and let me do my own thing. Of course, the worry is there, like, oh my goodness, what is my daughter doing? You know, she's trying to figure it out. But I think there's power and trust and respect involved in that I will end up okay. You know, at the end of the day, that they have to trust themselves, that they raised me well, that I can figure it out on my own. And I don't think I will be able to go as far without their support. So definitely my family.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I can relate to you in so many ways.
Right?
Yes, because if we don't have that, someone telling us that we can do it no matter what you do, you have good values, and you can attain whatever you want, right? So now I kind of want to ask, what would you tell a competitive collegiate athlete who wants to explore the same path as you?
I think it's just try everything. I took a political science. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to be an ambassador. But a point of reflection recently is, you know what? It's pretty much the same job, but in a sports context. And that's when I found out that's where the trying of new things is very important, because you look back and you reflect that everything that I've been doing has been the same thing. I just didn't see it like that. I thought it was not connected at all. But you know what? I sit back one day and then I say, like, everything's been connected. All the goals, all the visions have been pretty much the same. It's just really where I put myself to, but the work is pretty much the same.
If you were to look at your teenage self right now, or even speak to her, what would you tell her?
Oh my God. Can I get some tissues?
Miss you,
Thank you for that question. It's funny because it's been weeks of reflecting for me, and I feel like what we have today has been so timely. Somebody told me just the other day, like, people are looking up to you. You never know who's watching, and you never know, like, there's one girl who sees you and says, that's my dream job. And that's why I feel the responsibility that I have to do good. It's for them. It's gonna be for those who are watching, that you never know that you're inspiring. I will tell my high school self is, galingan mo lang. Just do your best. Just be better every day. You never know where you'll end up. You never know what you'll want in life. But if you do your best, like, you'll go far.
I'm so inspired right now. I want to try different things because of you. But honestly, thank you so much for taking the time with your busy schedule. I've learned so much about you wearing different hats, being present, and actually showing up for yourself, because that will also reflect into others. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with your vision with the collegiate volleyball team.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Please continue to support and stay tuned for the next episodes.